All 32 NFL teams had to cut down to 53 players by 6 p.m. today. And the New York Jets have still got us waiting. The longest offseason in the history of the NFL continues. We're going to talk about it, so let's get fired up.
Rickie, New York is about to go live. We've been through hell, but we still survive. So call it now. I want all the smoke. I'm here to give fans a reason to hope. They continue to build, and soon enough, the Jets will be winning. Now let's get fired up.
All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you have not already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are only 34 away from hitting 500. I'd like to thank everybody that subscribed recently. Whether you're watching here on YouTube, you're watching on X, come on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and while you are here, hit that like button as hard as you can. So today was cut down day in the NFL. All 32 teams had to have their rosters down to the final 53. And we are still waiting for the Jets to announce it. I figured, being that the deadline was 6 p.m. and I was going to do an 8 p.m. show, that we would know by now. I was watching other YouTube content creators doing their shows. Everybody's been waiting. I keep checking to see if there's any updates. And so far, much like, last season when I was looking for results, the Jets have given us nothing. So I apologize for that. I will keep checking as the show goes on, and we'll give you guys any updates as they come in. A few notable things that we do know. Jordan Clark was cut. Lynn, who was a promising pass rusher that I thought would actually make the team, did not make the team. He was released. There have been a few cuts. Now, as far as other teams and cuts that they have made, people that the Jets could potentially add. The Miami Dolphins cut linebacker Tyrell Dodson. That could be a very good addition for us as a number 3 linebacker for depth behind DeMario and Sherwood. He has familiarity with Duker from his time there, so that is an interesting name to watch. Also, the Colts cut Blake Group, the kicker. And as we know, our kicking situation remains a question mark. So that is another interesting name to watch. You know what? Mark, both of those are names to watch. Personally, I would think that, Group would probably be the direction that I would personally go in. Earlier today, the Jets did make a trade. We traded for the center, backup center from the Raiders. So that was a good depth signing for us. And yeah, that news kind of broke I wouldn't say early this morning, but let me see. I can probably tell you. Okay, well, I guess I can't tell you exactly what time that happened. I guess that was this afternoon, probably about 2 o'clock. We traded for Jordan Meredith. Started 19 games for the Raiders over the past 2 seasons. Gave up a six-round pick to get him. So there's the backup center that we've all been kind of wanting and looking for. We released Xavier Newman, which that is no surprise whatsoever. Being the fact that Xavier Newman has been absolutely awful. Cheryl, always good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Love you. Hope you're having a good night. So yeah, there have been a couple of moves. Quarterbacks. Will Levis was released. I've seen a lot of people talking about signing him. I mean, I'm not necessarily crazy about Will Levis, the player. I mean, is he better than Brady Cook? That's not really a very high bar to have to cross. So, yes, probably. Now, the other thing is we play Tennessee in week 1. So, adding Will Levis, do we get some intel on the Titans that we can utilize? Possibly. That's a good thought. So that makes that ad maybe a little bit more intriguing. However, some other news from around the NFL that directly affect the Jets. We have known all along that the Green Bay Packers were going to be without Micah Parsons to start the season. They did not fare well without Micah Parsons last year. Now it's been announced that Josh Jacobs is also going to miss the beginning of the season. Again, benefits the Jets. In addition to that, both Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are starting out on the PUP list, injured, and will miss at least the first 4 games, which means when we face the Detroit Lions in week 3, they'll be without their starting 2 safeties. So, yet again, another benefit for the Jets. While it's kind of driving me crazy that we haven't gotten the roster quite yet, that at least is some good news for the Jets. Makes those first couple of games seem a little bit more winnable. And I had confidence about the Packers game already. Charleston Jets Rube, good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a bit. Was good to meet you down here in Tampa. Welcome to the show. Mark, Valerie, my guy Bill M. Good to see all of you guys tonight. Hopefully we get some news on the roster while the show is live. I would love to be able to break that down with you. ISU, Mess, good to see all you guys, man. Yeah, I don't know what's with the Jets. I'm thinking, Coach Glick, I'm thinking maybe the Jets are running on West Coast time or something, so who knows? Maybe we'll get it at 9 o'clock, which would be 6 p.m. on the West Coast. I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is. It's kind of crazy that we're still sitting here waiting. And, here it is going on, almost 9 o'clock at night, and we still don't have confirmation on the roster. But hey, it's the Jets. That this has been the longest off season ever already, and it just keeps going. DNY, awesome to see you, man. Sharon, good to see you. Peg and Artie, awesome to see you too. Met you guys here in Tampa as well, and good, always good to see you guys. Um, yeah. Last year, I wanted to say it was like almost 10 o'clock at night. I think when we got the roster released last year, so maybe they are unfortunately doing the same kind of thing this year. So I don't know, man. Which yeah, I guess that's good. At least there's no leaks. That is true, but it would be nice to get some kind of news. Um, why they're doing this, I don't know. I mean, now we're not the only team that hasn't announced their 53 yet. There's a couple other teams that haven't either, but it seems like the majority of the teams have. And as I keep looking at every so often, it looks like every so often the news is trickling out, and there'll be another couple of teams that announce theirs. Let me go ahead and check for you guys real quick right now and see. And where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. And yeah, it looks like it looks like nope, still nothing for right now. But I'll keep checking as the show goes on, and hopefully we get that sometime while I'm live. If they do the same thing as last year and it doesn't come out until 10 p.m., I don't know if I'll still be rolling at 10 p.m. or not. That I'm going to leave up to you guys. Once I start taking calls, if a bunch of people call in, we're having a good conversation, and things are rolling, then maybe we still will be here at 10 o'clock. Certainly not out of the question. Yeah, I'm kind of scrolling through my timeline over here, and yeah, still not seeing anything. At any rate, like this has been a very long, very aggravating off season, and certainly one that has not been without controversy. All of you guys that watch the show on a regular basis know that I am an Aaron Glenn supporter. To put it lightly, I believe in AG. I think that this team is headed in the right direction. Yes. Yes, boss girl. I'll handle that. We don't talk politics. There are very few rules here. I do like this to be a family show that everybody can enjoy. I do allow people to swear. We're talking about the Jets, so there's going to be some 4-letter words that get thrown around. There's no two ways about that. So, but we do not talk politics. We do not talk religion here on the show. Those are two topics that always spark an argument. And everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Everybody's entitled to their own views as far as those things go. However, there's a time and a place for that, and this is neither the time nor the place. Cisco, is that did they say that they were going to release it at 10, or is that just you speculating? Like I hadn't seen that, but that would not surprise me in the least bit. Uh, and yeah, Kevin, like we definitely need a kicker. I thought that Sanders was going to be okay, but in training camp, he had a long kick that fell way short and did it again the other night in the game. And we just cannot have that. Uh, there's going to be situations where, we're going to have to make a long field goal. And we just can't have that, man. The year when we drafted Tyler Barron, the Jets ended up trading up to get him. Dude, I wanted to like use a 7th round pick on a kicker that year. Like I really, really, really wanted to draft Ryan Fitzgerald when he was coming out that year. That's a kid that I've seen kick in person. I've seen him make field goals from 60 plus. I believe that he had either a 62 or a 64 yarder that he made for the Panthers last year. And dude, kicker is a valuable position. Like if you look at the number of NFL games that come down to, a field goal to win, like there's a lot of games that are decided by 1 point, that are decided by, 3 points or less. And a field goal can make all the difference. Sometimes a missed extra point can make all the difference, which we had one of those too. And that's something we just can't have. And I don't know about you guys, but that's the kind, I don't need that uncertainty going into the year. I just don't need it, man. You know what? I wish I could make it in Nashville to meet up with all you guys. I am looking really forward to that game. I'm looking forward to us going up there. Oh, okay, shit. All right. Hold on. Let me hey Bill, can you send a link to my Discord for me real quick? I am kind of trying to multitask here and nice. Okay. That's not funny. Okay, so somebody sent me one and it said New York Jets 53-man roster, and when I clicked on it, it was a link to my show and a picture of myself came up, which that's funny. I'll have to respond to that. I'll have to respond to that later. Okay. All right. Thank you, ISU. I am pulling that up right now for you guys. Okay. And Tyler Barron, who I just mentioned, was added to the reserve physically unable to perform list. So I guess the roster is now officially at 52. Okay, and Inez Cooper and VJ Payne both landed on the injured reserve designated to return list, which, that kind of sucks that Cooper got hurt. Chip Trainum, running back that was hurt the other night, was placed on injured reserve. Okay. And let me see. Okay, so the New York Jets have waived. They waived Maury Bamba. That kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping he would be one of the guys that maybe was either injured and we could stash him or would end up on the practice squad. Junior Burgeon, Cam Camper, Dean Clark, Jordan Clark, Brady Cook, Anthony Dunn Jr., the edge, Pichelle Akijai, Cortland Ford, Keenan Garber, Marquise Hayes, which that one is one that kind of surprised me. Like I was talking to somebody earlier today and I was like, man, I wonder if Marquise Hayes is going to make the team. And the person was like, who is that? Is that somebody that we just signed or something? And I was like, no, dude, he actually made the 53 last year. And maybe it's because he made the 53 last year that I thought he would this year, but he did not. Jack Heflin, Xavier Hill, Jaden Keller, Nate Lynn, the edge, who I thought was going to make the team, did not. That was announced kind of early this morning. Malik McLean, my guy who played at FSU, Florida State guy before transferring to Arizona, did not make the team. Jarius Monroe, safety, did not make the team. Peyton Page, Jamal Pritchett, Quincy Skinner, Mozzie Smith, Junior Tafuna, Tanner Wall, Chase Wilson, Xavier Newman, Samuel Womack, Landon Young, Bailey Zappi, Chase Curtis, Connor Holstein, Dominic Richardson, Tyler Barron, Trey Brown, Chip Trainham, Michael Walker, and then, like I said, Inez Cooper and VJ Payne were those guys that were injured, designated to return. Now, teams can start submitting waivers to pick guys up. As soon as that 6:00 deadline hit today, we could start putting them in waivers. The Jets being second in waiver priority. So it'll be interesting to see who we see them pick up. Like I said, Blake Group, the kicker from Indy, is the one guy that I would have already tried to snatch up. We need a reliable kicker. So that is a move that I would make like right away. Yeah, Beck made it. So we've got 4 tight ends and a fullback, which that's interesting. Arian Smith made it. Yeah, McGregor made it. Like it. There are some surprising names that made it. This is not how I thought it would look, but bear with me 1 second, guys. Yeah, surprisingly, Brandon McGregor made it. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, and I'm really shocked that they cut Nate Lynn. That's a guy that I really thought was going to end up making this roster. Okay, what is going on with that? Yeah, Johnny boy, I know you're happy about that. Arian Smith made it, but you know what? Somebody was saying we were talking about that earlier today, and they were like, "Yeah, we should just get rid of Arian Smith." And it's like, we already got rid of Irv Charles. Like, if you do get rid of Arian Smith, who's your other gunner going to be? Because VJ Payne is hurt. Like, so I think if for no other reason, uh, you know, his special teams contributions probably saved Arian Smith's job. Uh, you know what? Sanders made the 53 for now, Bill, but yeah, exactly. Good point. Good point, Cisco. This is not the final roster at all. Uh, Eddie, good to see you. Welcome to the show, man. Good to have you. Um, yeah, I would definitely say a kicker. Will Levis, as I mentioned earlier, if we can get some info on Tennessee, a little peek behind the curtain, see what maybe Robert Sala's got up his sleeve, wouldn't be a bad thing. Not that I'm really worried about it. Robert Saleh is infamous for not having his squad ready to go at the beginning of the year. So I'm not really overly concerned about that. Um, and yeah, like people don't freak out about this, because some of the guys that are on the roster today won't be tomorrow. Like if we end up getting Blake Groot, who I mentioned earlier, kicker, Jason Sanders will be gone. So you know, if we sign a linebacker, if we sign a quarterback, say Will Levis. So like this isn't the final roster by any means whatsoever. It's going to change. I can kind of agree with that, cousin. I can kind of agree with that. But you know what? At this point, at least he does have some starting experience. Is he better than Klubnik? Debatable, but I don't want to rush Klubnik out there. I would like him to be able to sit and watch. And you know what? Just because Arian Smith made the 53 today, it doesn't mean he'll be there in week one. Like that still could change. So everybody kind of keep that in mind. This is going to be a very fluid situation. Jersey, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Yeah, this is still going to change quite a bit. So I'm really curious to see what moves they're going to make. Who just said that? Actually, they released him, but I unless I'm mistaken, ISU, you may want to check that, because I'm pretty sure I saw right before I went live, I could swear I saw a post that said that they re-signed him for like a 1-year deal that was like a really cheap 1-year deal, especially considering where he was drafted. There have been some other interesting names that were out there. The Giants cut Evan Neal, who was drafted like 7th overall, and then you look at the people that were drafted just behind him, and there were a lot of really good players. And he just really hasn't panned out at all. There's Jedrick Wills, a tackle, another guy who's out there. So there's a few players that got released from other teams, and I still have to kind of go through and look at all the guys that were cut from other teams. to see who all is out there, who we could pick up that would benefit us. But we did get a backup center today. That's good. We need to get a kicker. I want to see a veteran quarterback come in here that can be our number two and allow Cade to sit for a while and develop at his own pace, so we don't have to rush him out there. And so there's going to be moves made. And if everybody thinks back, think back to a year ago at this time, everybody was freaking out because we didn't draft a defensive tackle. And everybody was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And we had, Derek Nottie, and we had some other guys that just didn't pan out and didn't really do anything to move the needle. But Darren Muji went out and he ended up getting us Juwan Briggs and getting us Harrison Phillips, both of who have been really good players. So I'm not freaking out. I'm not worried at all. Muji will right the ship. Green Bean, man, great to see you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the madness. And yeah, Will Levis for Intel, and Blake Group, the kicker from Indy. Those would be probably the first two moves I would make if I was Darren Muji. Absolutely agree with that. 100%. 100%. And the kicking situation is something that we've got to get figured out. Watching college football last night, I'm watching guys, make like 50 something yarders, and it seems like no problem. Like one of them, like it could have been a 65 yarder and it would have easily made it. And I'm thinking, why can't we have a kicker that can do that? Why we got the guy that kicks it from 50 and it comes down at the goal line, instead of making it. You know what? That's a good idea. Snowball. And I'm going to do all of you a favor, and I'm not going to sing on my next short. The one I did last night, in the middle of the night, I was all baked and decided to do the short about Terrion Arnold signing with the Seahawks. The Terrion, my wayward son. And man, I listened to that this morning. I'm like, whoo, you know what? I probably shouldn't sing on any of these shorts. That may not have been a good idea in hindsight. So I'm going to do you guys a favor and probably not sing on any of the future ones. But and as the news comes out and we kind of continue to make moves, I'll be posting those on my X, and I'll also be putting out shorts for all the moves that we make. So, make sure you follow that. I'll keep you updated as things happen. Somebody mentioned that to me earlier today too. Hartman, I don't know. Given a choice between him and Will Levis, I would probably take Levis just for the fact that we can get some intel from him. And I'm not really worried about intel about Robert Saleh's defense because we all kind of know what that is and what that's going to look like. But if he can give us some info on their offense and their offensive plays, their offensive playbook, I'm all for that. And you know what? Let me see if I can find this for you real quick. This is another tweet that I saw just before the show started tonight, and this came from a Tennessee Titans fan. Posted this. Okay, and I'm not saying it. Anyways, it said something to the effect, and it's not going to be word for word. Wait, here we go. I'm not sure if I have ever been less interested in the Titans before a season before it even started. Cam Ward looks awful. Carnell Tate played the entire preseason and didn't have a single catch. What reason is there for optimism? Not including the new stadium next year, is there anything? I don't think so. You know what? Uh, I know Jets fans get a bad rap sometimes for being negative, but it's nice to see that that isn't exclusive to our fan base. And being that we play the Titans in the first game, hearing their fan base talk like that, how they have absolutely zero confidence in anything good coming of that, makes me feel all the better. Makes me feel all the better about playing them in week one. So, yeah, I'd meant to put that aside and was going to share that, almost first thing tonight, but I'm glad I remembered that. And listen, I'm not saying that Will Levis is great. Okay. Uh, you know what? He may not really be any better than Klubnik. Klubnik may be better than him. I think Klubnik will be better than him in the long run. I just don't want to have to put Klubnik out there right now. Um, Granted, if he was out there behind our starting offensive line with the weapons that we got, it may be a little bit better. But I mean, he was kind of up and down during the preseason, and he's a rookie, guys. Like, there's no need to rush him out there. So, and given the options that are available right now, I don't think Will Levis is terrible. He's not the worst you could do. So, um, Dino, good to see you, man. Uh, so yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. He's a sufficient placeholder so Klubnik doesn't have to play. That's a perfect way to say that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, so yeah, I don't want to take another rookie quarterback and rush him out there and throw him into the fire and end up ruining him. Like we've done that far too often in our history. And I don't want to see that happen with this kid. Now, I don't think that Klubnik is our long-term answer. I don't think he's going to be vying to be the starter next year. Um, Anything like that. But I do think he has the potential to be our long-term backup. But I don't need him, losing his confidence. I don't need him, out there getting beat on right off the bat. So I'm okay with that. Me personally, uh, I was curious to see if maybe Sam Howell or a guy like that would be available. A lot of people thought maybe Tanner McKee wouldn't be retained by the Eagles. But yeah, it and Zach, I get that, and it's not so much a desire, but you know what? If he had to come in and start one game or start two games, I could live with it. Uh, do I want him starting 17? Hell no, hell no. So I don't know about that now. I don't know. I don't know if he's Justin Fields bad. Justin Fields was as bad as any quarterback I have ever seen. Any starting quarterback I've ever seen. So I don't know. You know what? At the end of the day, I trust Muji to make the right call. As far as what fits their system, as far as, what's going to be the best for the personnel that we have, the scheme that we're running. So, you know what? That could be a possibility too, Jay Kaner. So we'll see. We'll see. Nick Shine was saying earlier, like, Josh Johnson's out there. Hell, he's been a Jet before. He's played in multiple systems under multiple coordinators, and he's a guy that you could maybe feel okay about throwing out there for a game or two. Um, you know, there's going to be options, and I don't want to go, too far down the quarterback rabbit hole because we don't really know. I want to see. I want to see what they do. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on it, and like I said, any moves that are made, I will let you guys know about right away. Whether it be on X, via a short, whatever. I'm gonna keep you guys posted as things happen. Right now, like, dude, I want to get I honestly I want to get this kicker situation handled. Like, I would like to see a tweet come across. The Jets have gotten this kicker from Indy, and Jason Sanders has been released. I'm waiting for that tweet. You know, Come on, Ian Rappaport. Come on, Adam Schefter. Somebody send me that tweet that Jason Sanders has been cut and we've added another kicker. I'm ready for that right now. Uh, and yeah, we don't know. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. That's the thing too. Is for all we know, the Jets are in talks with somebody right now. In the last 12 months, Darren Muji has made 14 trades. So it is very possible that they're in talks with somebody right now. And so I'm not going to hit the panic button on any of this. Uh, Amen to that, Anthony. Good to see you. Thank you for joining the show. And I will agree that with that 100%. To see the fact that Titans fans are already complaining, they're already bummed. They're just looking at this season like it's a disaster before the first play has even happened. That they look at it like they have nothing to look forward to. That makes me feel good going into this year, starting off with them. And you know what? Being the fact that the Titans are who they are, their secondary is bad, their offensive line is awful. Cam Ward still has, in my opinion, a lot to prove. I am not sold on him whatsoever. I like that matchup week one. Getting the Packers at home, who don't have Micah Parsons, who don't have Rashawn Gary or Quay Walker anymore, that don't have Romeo Doubs anymore. And hey, Christian Watson has been banged up here and there over his career. Matthew Golden was hurt a lot last year. And I'm not saying that I want any of these guys to get injured. I'm just saying, the Packers, look, they've got their quarterback, they've got a good coach, but they're not necessarily a juggernaut, and they're going to be missing some pieces. So I'm feeling better and better about that matchup, especially being that it's at home. And then getting the news today that the Lions are going to be without both Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, like, that doesn't hurt my feelings either. So as the beginning of the year gets closer, I'm feeling better and better about that. And yes, there are still some questions, but dude, you know what? Mucci is going to get us a veteran quarterback in here. He's going to get us a kicker. I have confidence in him. I think he's going to get this thing all situated before the beginning of the year. And we don't know what talks they're having with what teams right now. We don't know what players they might be on the verge of acquiring. But what I do know.
So you do have a plan.
I'm sure that Muji's got a plan. And I like the direction we're heading. So I'm not worried about it. That's awesome, boss girl. That's awesome. Yeah. So right now, we know what our roster looks like right now. Interesting that it's 52 and not 53. Interesting that they didn't think that Nate Lynn or one of those guys or Marquise Hayes or one of those guys that was released wasn't that extra guy that is not there at the moment. So yeah, they're absolutely bringing in another quarterback, guys. There is no two ways about that. I would say by this time tomorrow, we're going to be sitting here discussing the quarterback they brought in. I think it's very possible and probably likely that we're talking about our new kicker at this time tomorrow. So I'm not panicking. But it's good that we finally do know what our roster looks like. Dan sure took him long enough to announce it. You know what? I agree with that, Anthony. Like, I would have kept Lynn over McGregor. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they see value in McGregor as like against the run. I don't think so. But man, Lynn just looks so good as a pass rusher. And, I'm thinking like, damn, did we find our next Bryce Huff? Is this the next undrafted guy that we're all going to kind of fall in love with? And now Clark, I can understand because he was a slot corner, and we already have Brownlee, we already have Pons. I didn't see them keeping 3 slots on the 53, but Lynn was kind of disappointing. I'll admit it. And hey, I like the name Lynn. My wife's middle name is Lynn. My daughter's middle name is Lynn. I like that name Lynn. And the kid was good, man. Like, I know that he wasn't necessarily playing against starters and stuff a lot of the time, but still, 3 sacks in 2 games. And you can never have enough good pass rushers. Like, you can never have enough good pass rushers. You can never have enough good corners. So I really wanted him to make the roster. I really did. And I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a bit disappointed that he didn't make it. Yeah, that's too bad. Uh, and yeah, like I really didn't think that McGregor was going to make this team. I really didn't. Now I know there is interest in Lynn coming, back. The team wants to bring him back. They want to bring him to the practice squad. He's interested in coming back. So there is mutual interest there. You know, hopefully another team doesn't snatch him up. But I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how that develops. It's gonna be curious to see what guys do. Oh, okay. There you go. That's why it's 52. Meredith still has to pass his physical. That makes perfect sense. You know what? I should have thought about that. I should have thought about that myself. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill, for picking up my slack there. I should have known that. But yeah, that makes perfect sense now. Now that I stop and think about it. And yeah, and again, just because McGregor made the 53 or 52, as the case may be, doesn't mean he's going to be on the team week one. Like I said earlier, this is a very fluid situation. It's going to change. There's a lot of players that, got cut today. The Jets are going to make some moves. So the next 48 hours are going to tell us a lot. A lot can happen, in the 2 weeks that we got to go before opening day gets here. Things are going to change. Nothing is set in stone. So all I can say is, keep your eyes peeled and keep tuned in, and I will bring you all the news as it happens. So I'm maybe mildly annoyed with cutting Lynn. Now Clark, even though he did show something, like I can understand it because you're not going to keep 3 slots on the roster. We just have needs in other areas, and even though I like him, and that's a guy that I'm not sure makes it the practice squad. Like I think that somebody actually might pick him up off of waivers. He's got the NFL dad, he's got the pedigree, he has showed something when he's been out there. So I don't know if he ends up sticking around. So you know what though, for a depth piece, I wouldn't have minded Lynn. I given a choice between him and McGregor, I would have taken him. Ronald, good to see you, man. Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, like given the choice between Lynn and McGregor, I would have taken Lynn. And that's another good point too, Mike. Thank you. Good to see you as well. Yeah, he missed his entire rookie season and a good portion of his second. So you could say that he's been around for 3 years, but a lot of that he wasn't available for. So, and is that a concern? Yeah. Did they take that into consideration? Possibly, with all that kind of factors in. It's all relative. So, and yeah, everybody hit that like button while you're here. I'm seeing some new faces in the chat. Good to see all of you, man. Thank everyone for joining the show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We are only 34 at the start of the show. We were only 34 away from hitting 500 by week 1, which has been my goal. And everyone helps. So definitely appreciate all of you for tuning in and joining me. So, and yeah, there's a good chance that Lynn lands on the practice squad. So maybe he will stick around, and hey, listen, guys get hurt and guys get activated from the practice squad all the time. So we may not have seen the last of him. So don't write him off quite yet. Um, at any rate, which I guess I do say that a lot. I guess that is a term that I do use a lot. At any rate, but yeah, there's going to be moves to make, and later on tonight when I get done with the show, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to go team by team and look at all the cuts, look at all the free agents that are now available, all the guys that the Jets could potentially sign, and the next show that I do, I will have a more definitive list, and that won't be until Tuesday. And you know what? I will guarantee you, I would bet you money that there are going to be several moves that are made between now and then. And I would venture to say that we're going to make at least 3 to 4 moves between now and the time that I do my next show. So, yeah, this is not even remotely a finished product. This is definitely going to change. So, yeah, will McGregor still be here a couple of days from now? I don't know. But yeah, I would say that we're going to have a different kicker by the time I do my next show. And I think that we will have a veteran quarterback in some way, shape, or form by the time I do my next show. Will it be Will Levis? I don't know. Will it be, Hartman or Josh Johnson or like I don't know. I don't know. Dude, it's fun to discuss. It's fun to debate. It's fun to speculate on it. But what I do know is I trust Darren Muji. The one thing that Muji has been very good at ever since he got here is finding guys that fit what Aaron Glenn wants to do. So I have utmost confidence that he's going to make some moves and they're going to be the right ones for what we need. Nice one. Nice one, Snowball. Yeah. So, oh, Zach, absolutely not. Okay. That is one thing I can definitely tell you. It ain't going to be Anthony Richardson. That guy was a fucking bum in college. He's a bum now. I have never been a fan of Anthony Richardson, and I can definitely tell you it will not be him. So yeah, we've got a lot of corners, but you know what? Corner is also one of those positions right now that doesn't really seem settled. Like I think that Stevens and AC are going to be our top 2 guys, but dude, I'm not sold on Stevens. Like I think he could end up potentially losing that job as the season goes on. I love this comment too. I love that. I don't know how much of a problem it is, but there were times when Stevens was really good in coverage, but he also gave up the most touchdowns in the entire league last year. So that's not good. Oh God. You know what? I almost forgot about that. That's fucking weird. That's I don't even know what to think about that. Eddie, good to see you, man. Appreciate you calling in last time. Um, and let me just check and make sure real quick that. Okay, yeah. I wanted to check and make sure that the call in link is pinned so you guys can call in if you so wish. But yeah, that dude, I don't even know what to say about that. I think it's kind of crazy when people put mayo on French fries, but in coffee, that just sounds nasty. But to each their own, I guess. I don't know. And I would agree with this too. I think Stevens is on thin ice. Uh, you know what? You know what I think is going to end up happening is uh, Bomba did not make the team. Ronald, he did not make the team. Thank you for joining, but yeah, he was not on the 53. So um, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I think by the time we get to week 6 or 7, you're going to have Azarie Thomas and D'Angelo Pons as your two perimeter corners, and you're going to have Brownlee in the slot. That's I've said that before. I'll say it again. I'm very firm in that belief. I think that Brandon Stevens starts out with the starting job. I don't think he'll hold it for the year. Bigfoot Mike, good to see you, man. Appreciate you chiming in. We've actually got a couple of guys that can play those positions, and I'm curious. That can't be your real name, and you know what? This is going to sound crazy, but at one of the jobs that I used to have, my supervisor was Bigfoot. Like everybody called him Bigfoot. And when he was young, he looked like a Bigfoot. But he had a son whose name was Bigfoot. Like his actual name, legal name on his birth certificate was Bigfoot Joseph. And I'm not going to say what their last name is, but true story. I worked with a guy that named his kid Bigfoot. I think that if I was in that position, I think me and my dad would have been out in the backyard settling it. I would not want to have to go through life with the name Bigfoot. I know some people that I know a guy that named his kid Chaos. Also true story. I know a guy who gave his son the middle name Kush, which the middle name is a little bit better, but people, man, don't give your kids crazy names. It may seem like a good idea. It may be funny at the time, whatever you're thinking, but the kid's got to go through life with that. So, you know, Chaos is not as bad as Bigfoot, but exactly, Zach. It's like a boy named Sue, which is a fucking awesome song. I love that song. And yes, his initials were BJS, technically. That's kind of on the border too. Like that, it's still not as bad as Bigfoot, but and yeah, it'll definitely toughen up. Okay, let's. This may be borderline inappropriate, but I'm going to tell you about that. There was a guy that I knew growing up. Okay, and He was probably the craziest son of a bitch that you have ever met in your entire life. Uh, Completely nuts. He's not with us anymore, but his name was Charles Fag Jr., and everybody called him Junior Fag. Uh, and if going through life with that name wouldn't toughen you up, uh, I don't know what would. But like I said, he was the craziest, most insane person that I've ever known in my life. Somebody that was do you really he was very unpredictable. You never knew what he was going to do next. And Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, not far from where I live. Was probably doing about 140 miles an hour on his motorcycle going down Highway 301, and some drunk lady pulled out in front of him. And needless to say, he didn't make it through that accident. But at any rate, I will stop with the crazy name story there. I kind of got way off topic with that for a minute there. But hey, you know what? We need a new kicker, and I don't care what his name is, as long as he can kick, as long as he can make field goals and he doesn't lose us games. Uh, in my history of being a Jets fan, kickers have caused me some misery, and I'll tell you what, um, Doug Bryan, the scars that man left on my soul, I have still not ever gotten over. And people may not remember this, but in that season where that happened, the Doug Bryan missed kick, uh, in the couple of weeks prior to that, we ended up beating the Chargers because their kicker missed field goals. We ended up beating the Bengals because their kicker couldn't make field goals. And so, like, when it finally, came to the Doug Bryan missed kick, I don't know if you want to call that karma or whatever. Like, it just seemed like, damn, you know what? We won a couple of games in a row because the other kickers couldn't make field goals. And then finally, it was like our luck ran out and we ended up being the ones missing one. And it sucked, man. Like that was one of those years that I really truly felt like we should have been Super Bowl bound. Like I really did. There have been a couple of years in particular that I thought the Jets should have been in the Super Bowl. The 98 season was one. That Doug Bryan year was one. That year that the Raiders and the Bucks played in the Super Bowl, that should have been the Jets and the Bucks that year, in my opinion. There have been a couple of times in my lifetime as a Jets fan that I really feel we should have been in the Super Bowl. 2010 was another one. That Steelers game. You know what? That was such an awesome year. And, we beat Brady, we beat Manning. It seemed like everything was going the right way. And then, we get to Pittsburgh. The whole Bart Scott can't wait. It seemed like we had all this momentum. And then in the Jets, when we came out in that Steelers game, our defensive line came out flat and got pushed around. Like it looked like those guys were on skates. And the Steelers got up early. The Jets ended up pulling it together and we were coming back. You know what? There's another 2 minutes in that game. We win. Unfortunately, we just ended up running out of time, and it sucks, man. There have been several times in my lifetime that it seems like we were so close. We were so close to being there and got denied. And, technically in my lifetime, we won a Super Bowl. But you know what? When Joe Namath won that Super Bowl, I was 1 year old, man. Like, I don't remember that. It's not like I was sitting in front of the TV watching the game. So And I'm not getting any younger. I feel like I'm running out of time. So I'm glad that we're starting to turn this thing around. I'm glad that we're nice heavy metal reference, Ronald. Awesome. And this is the rock and roll themed Jets show. So definitely appreciate that. That's awesome. Um, yeah, man, like I'm not getting no younger, man. Like I want to see this thing get turned around. I don't think that we're going to be a playoff team this year, but I think we're going to see significant progress. I think we're going to be headed in the right direction. And you know what? A year from now, I think we are going to be talking playoffs. And I can't wait, man. For this year, I just want to get to like Thanksgiving time, early December, and I want to see that graphic in the hunt. New York Jets. That's all I want. And you know what? Say that, we beat Tennessee. Say we beat Green Bay. Facing the Lions without their two starting safeties. There's been some changes along their offensive line. Dude, weird things can happen. So, and I'm not going to get crazy and predict anything, but I always, for the most part, I choose my words pretty carefully. You know, Hey, I'm not going to say that I'm on Green Bean Island. I don't necessarily think we're going to the playoffs this year, but you know what? I'm anchored right offshore. Like I'm close. I'm almost there. And yeah, listen, we play some good teams. Chicago's a good team too. But you know what? A lot of their games last year could have went either way, and just happened to go their way. But dude, anything can happen. Like, dude, we were not a good team. We had Zach Wilson as a quarterback. The Texans were one of the better teams in the league, and we beat them. 2 years in a row. The Texans seem to be the one team that we have their number. So I'm not going to make any crazy predictions or anything, but anything can happen, man. There's always that possibility. And if Derek was here, he'd be telling you there's always like 4 teams that go to the playoffs that weren't there the year before. Why not us? And injuries happen. You never know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to make any crazy predictions, but I do think we're headed in the right direction. I like the changes we've made so far, and we're not done. I know this show was, all about talking about the 53-man roster, but this show is about the 53-man roster after we cut players and got down to 53. This show isn't about our week 1 roster. This show isn't about our opening day roster. So keep that in mind. There's going to be additions. There's going to be addition by subtraction. Some guys that are there now ain't going to be there. Jason Sanders being one of them. The fact that Zappy and Smythe could be another one that could be a waiver claim. I'll tell you right now, our opening day kicker is not on this roster. Our number 2 quarterback for opening day is not on this roster. So there's definitely moves incoming. Muji is far from done. Guys, don't get me started. I've already gotten off a topic with crazy names and everything else. Don't get me started on Marvel comic stuff, because I'm liable to go way off the rails because I am a huge Marvel fan. So, and I do like Heroes for Hire. I like Iron Man in the comics anyway. Supposedly the Defenders are coming back. Um, I don't know if we'll see them in Secret Wars or not, but and something crazy is when the Defenders do come back, I don't think it's going to be Danny Rand is going to be the Iron Fist that comes back. I think it's going to be Calling Wing. So, just a thought. There's a roster move you didn't see coming. Uh, so, I don't think they're going to be in Doomsday, but I think they're going to be in Secret Wars. Anyhows, uh, yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. That's a whole nother topic. Um, During the off season, you probably will see some shows that dive a little bit deeper into that. I actually did do a show that was a Spider-Man Brand New Day review after I saw the movie. So there will probably be some Marvel shows. Who knows? Maybe in that week or so that we have off between the playoffs and the Super Bowl, you might see a Doomsday review coming out. I've heard some crazy things about Doomsday. I heard that right now it's like almost 3 hours and 50 minutes long or something like that, and so they're trying to rework it and cut about 40 minutes out of it to cut the runtime down some. So, you know what? Just like the Jets, Doomsday have to cut down too. So, you mean as far as Dave? You mean as far as win loss? When I did my initial schedule prediction, my win loss prediction, I did one with me and Matt O'Leary, and we just went game by game. And then when I added it up at the end, I came out with 9 wins. But I'm going to say 8 wins. I'm going to say we're 8-9 at the end of the year. I would rather be 9-8, but I'm going to somewhat temper my expectations, and I'm going to say 8-9 at the end of the year. And you know what, Bill? I was thinking the same thing. Floor of 7, ceiling of 9. I think the floor and the ceiling are very close together for this season. It's like one of those hobbit houses that's built in the side of the hill. Not very big. The ceiling and the floor are very, very close together. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Anything less than 7 wins, not acceptable. Anything more than 9 wins would be incredible. So, yeah, I'll go along with that all day long. So, guys, we got open lines right now. If anybody wants to call in, tonight's show is not going to be a super long one, because I have to be up really early in the morning for job interview thing that hopefully goes well. So this won't be a super long show. So if anybody wants to call in, now is your opportunity. But yeah, I'm going to say the floor is 7, the ceiling is 9. And with that, we have our first caller.
Hey, Ricky, how's it going, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I wanted to just pop in that kind of phrase a question to you in the chat and try to see where your mind is at real quick.
Oh, that's dangerous territory, my friend. You may not want to know where my mind is at. Go ahead. What's your question?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it was cutting off. So I'm kind of with you where like I'm in the in between area where I'm optimistic about the team, but I'm not saying playoffs, right? Like I feel like we're a little ways from that. But I wanted to phrase a scenario and see what you would decide if we start off the season and we're maybe 4-2 by week 6, week 7, going into week 7. Would you be willing to move one of your first to strengthen up this team?
Probably not. Probably not.
Okay.
I don't think I would do that. Now, I might be inclined to, depending on what the player was that we were acquiring. I may be willing to move a second. Like, I don't know. Now, if it was like a top tier player, like
right,
maybe like. So I can't say definitely no, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, we're no one's going to trade like a top tier quarterback, midway through the season, or yeah. So yeah, I don't see myself moving a 1, but like a 2, I could see that maybe, like say Tampa Bay is completely falling apart for some reason, and they just look god awful, and all of a sudden it's trade deadline time, and they call up and they say, "Hey, Mooj, give us a second rounder next year, and we'll give you Anton Winfield Jr." I'd fucking do it.
Right.
I'd pull the trigger. And you know what? Who knows, man? If Muji said, I'll tell you what, give us Anton Winfield and we'll give you whatever the worst of our 3 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
I might do that. I might just do that. So maybe, I mean, I guess maybe there is a world where maybe I would do that, but
okay. And that's why I phrased the question, because like I obviously don't want to move the first, but if we have a year where we're starting off and we look competitive, because I don't think as currently constructed we could make a push to the playoffs, right? But I think we could be a competitive team. Maybe we're 1 or 2 pieces away. So if we start off to a 4-2 type of start, to where we're able to kind of envision this team making that push, but now we can go out and, like you're saying, like with the Winfield situation, like we see another situation somewhere else where it's not going quite as planned for them. So now players are available that weren't currently available during the off season. Maybe we feel more comfortable with making that trade. And then even in a trade like that, maybe it's not a 1 straight up for a player. Maybe it's a 1 for the player and we get back like a 3rd, or we get back like a 4th or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely certain situations where I would be open to it. Yeti, I did not see that, but I know the last show that I did, when I got done, I popped over to Green Bean's show, and he was wearing the beanie that I sent him. So
shout out to Green Bean.
I didn't see it today, but that's awesome. And yeah, there's definitely situations where I guess I would do that, but it would have to be the right player at the right position. I guess is how I would phrase that. Just like
okay, I was just gonna pull in record.
Yeah,
I got you though.
It's free parking now.
Okay.
Like dream scenario for me is like the Packers season goes completely off the rails and the Colts suck, and we end up being able to have 2 high firsts where we could get our quarterback and get, say, Leonard Moore, the corner from Notre Dame. And then ours is at least high enough where we could either stick and pick or move up a couple of slots and get like Tay Johnson to be our badass center fielder safety for the future. And then still, be able to have a 2 to add a linebacker or to add a center. And then all of a sudden, all those question marks are all the boxes are checked, and this is a complete team. And that's not even taking into consideration what free agency might look like. And while my mind has drifted to next year's draft a few times because I'm a draft junkie and I just can't stop myself from thinking about that shit. Like I saw the Draft Hub, which anybody that doesn't follow NFL Draft Hub on X, awesome. He's a Jets fan just like us and does amazing fucking draft content. Really, really fucking good. If you follow me on X, you probably saw like yesterday. I think I reposted one of his tweets that was like, oh gosh, I can't remember what position. Oh, it was defensive lineman for next year's draft. And that's a great channel to subscribe to. But at any rate, yeah, I find myself, I'm already doing like some summer scouting and looking at some of the draft prospects for next year. I hope to have my own draft guide for next year, which is something that I kind of wanted to do this year, but I just didn't have the time to devote to it. And, I still did like a couple of hundred players this year, but, dude, like some of these guys, they'll do 300 plus 400 players. And I just simply don't have enough time to do that many and to watch film on that many guys and go that deep as, say, Dom C or the Draft Hub or JWAC Gridiron or like one of those channels, which are all really great channels to follow. But yeah, so I can't help but thinking about that stuff sometimes. That's okay, man. It's all good. Trust me, I'm not going to fault anybody for a bad internet connection. Those of you who have been here with me from the beginning know that in the early days of this show, it was rough at times. Thank goodness I've upgraded everything and haven't had those problems for a long, long time now. But yeah, so going back to your initial question, for the right player at the right position, I guess I can be talked into it. In my heart, I want to hold on to those picks because I have confidence in Muji, and I want to keep our 3 firsts if I can. But if the right player at the right position, say we end up don't want to re-sign Will McDonald long term, it turns out, or something, and all of a sudden, we can get a Brian Burns, or like the scenario I brought up where the Bucks have a bad season and they decide to shop Antoine Winfield. Like, dude, there's certain situations where I guess I could be talked into it, but I'm inclined to keep them all. To make a long story short, I'm inclined to keep them all, but there are situations where I would entertain it for the right player. But if I were going to trade one of our first for a particular player at a particular position, it would be, I'll give you the worst of our 3 firsts. Okay, kind of like what we did with the Cowboys. Like they said, whichever's the worst of our 2 firsts, whether it be the Packers pick or our own pick, we'll give you that one. But we're not giving you the higher of the 2. Like I would do that. I would say you can have the worst of our 3, but not either of our top 2, because we're going to need a quarterback. We need at least one really, really important impact position. Other than that, and I just throw out Leonard Moore because, dude, he's an amazing fucking corner. Like, he is so fucking good. And as we were talking about earlier, like, boundary corner is still kind of a up in the air kind of question mark. But think about that. What if we get to next year and that happens? Then you got Leonard Moore, Azarie Thomas on the outside, D'Angelo Pons in the slot, and say you get like a K Johnson or KJ Bolden or one of those safeties in the draft to be your center fielder. Like, dude, then our secondary is like bulletproof. And then in the second round, you get like a Chris Cole or a Sammy Brown or somebody to be that linebacker that's going to be a long-term answer to replace DeMario. And all of a sudden, man, we've got like a complete roster. Not really. Really? Huh. That's weird. Hey, I don't know about Mestamaker. See, that's the thing that I think about, like maybe CJ Carr. Like a lot of people keep bringing up CJ Carr. He may not end up not declaring. So and I'm Bigfoot Mike. I'm assuming you mean Jason Sanders, the kicker, and not Shador. But yeah, like just because he survived the cuts today, I don't think he makes it. I think he gets replaced. Doesn't worry me, Zach, because Darian Mintz is my guy, and I think he is coming out. I think he's going to leapfrog more. I think he's going to leapfrog some guys, and I think, this time, I think when the draft rolls around, it's probably going to be Manning and Mensa at the very top. So we'll end up seeing, though. We'll see. Let's see. Let's wait and see what they do this year. Dude, I was a big Mensa fan last year, and I wanted him to come out. Instead, he went to Miami. He's got Tony down there in Miami. Barkate went with him from Duke down there. That was his top receiver. They've got a running game. So listen, I think Mensa's going to have a really good year, and I think he's going to move his way up the rankings. So. You know what? What's a good analogy for that? Like, say he doesn't have like the cannon arm or whatever. Like, what if he turns out to be like a Chad Pennington level talent, just really smart, maybe not the biggest arm, but dude, I would take that all day long with good weapons around him and a really good offensive line in front of him. I think he would be a really good fit for the team we're building right now. So I know some people aren't as high on Mensa as I am, but listen, I'm real high on Mensa. Dom C is very high on Mensa. Dom C knows his shit. Like he's very tuned in with the draft. Omari Brown likes Mensa. There's a few of us out here that like him. So we'll see. We'll see. At any rate, like I don't want to get too involved in next year's quarterback conversation. We're going to have plenty of time for that. I want to kind of stay focused on this year and this roster, what we're doing right now. It's real easy to suck me into that because I'm such a you know what? That's what I was thinking, and I really was hoping that he would have. But another year of experience, especially with a good team, doesn't hurt either. So, you know what? Maybe it turns out to be even better. So we'll see. We'll see how that ends up developing and what how that all turns out. At any rate. Dude, thank you to everybody for joining me tonight. I am going to start winding it down because I got to be up ridiculous early in the morning. I got to get up by like 5 a.m. to do some things around here and then probably be out the door by 6 so I can make it to where I'm going by 7. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank all of you for your support. Means the world to me. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're hearing, and you got friends that are Jets fans, turn them onto the channel too. Let's try to get those subscriber numbers up there and hit that 500 by week 1. And oh, hold on. Wait, I'm not leaving yet. We got a caller. Eddie, what's happening, man? You always manage to slide in right at the end, but you know
what's
what?
up, Rick? Yeah, I'll so I got caught up watching 90 Day Fiance. I'm addicted to that show. But I was watching during the commercials, and I won't jam you up. I know you're leaving. I was reading the chat and everything. So do I get a good connection?
Yeah, you sound great, man. I can hear you.
Cool. So actually, and the chat can confirm this, but if you like going, so I went to the Jets website, and it seems like if you go to like their oh
shit. Okay. I lost him. Eddie, call back in. I lost you for a second. Your connection was great, man. You were crystal clear. I could hear you perfect, see you perfect. I'm not sure what happened on your end, but call back in. Yeah, now I'm curious to what he was going to ask me. Okay, there we go.
Yo, right. Sorry about that. I just think I just caught up in Twilight Zone. What the hell?
No, you're good, man. You're good. Like
you were there, and then so what I try to do is I'm on my phone. And I try to go to another Google tab because this thing pulls up in the Google tabs.
Oh, okay,
and then I got somehow lost in the internet and ended up like on another planet or something. But yeah, the depth chart on the Jets website, there's a lot of defensive backs, unless I'm reading that wrong. But it seems like we kept Cisco, we kept like 4 or 5 safeties, we kept a grip of freaking cornerbacks. Am I crazy to say that, or is that?
No, that's accurate because we kept Cisco, we got Minka, we got Malachi Moore, Dane Belton, like all those guys made the team. For corners, I mean, we've got Azaria, Stevens, Nashawn Wright, Stiggers, D'Angelo Pons, Brownlee, I mean, we definitely have a lot of defensive backs. And some of that, like, you know, with like say Stiggers, you know, I know he's not a defensive back, but like Arian Smith ended up making the team. I think some of those guys made the teams because of their special teams contributions. But yeah, no, that's not crazy to say at all. We definitely do have a lot of defensive backs, and and I think part of that might be because it's I would say it's kind of still not all settled. Like I know that, you know, right now opening day we're looking at, you know, AZ and Stevens on the outside, and probably Brownlee being your starting slot initially, at least anyway. But I think that all is subject to change, you know, depending on how they play and how the beginning of the year unfolds. I was saying earlier, like that might be the way we start out, but you know, by midway through the season, if it even takes that long, I think it's going to end up being AZ and Pons on the outside and Brownlee in the slot. Like I don't think Brandon Stevens is going to keep that starting job.
I agree with you.
The season. So
I'm big on Pons. Huge on. I think Pons. I loved him. I watched Indiana. I watched every game last year. You know,
yeah, he's good, man. He's a
and he was
baller.
freaking amazing, dude. He was amazing. You know,
Yeah.
he's like DJ Reed, but even better. You know, like if that could, you know, like
Completely agree. Completely agree. He's
more
like a better.
athletic DJ Reed. You know, like a more athletic DJ Reed.
I do too, and dude, I like DJ Reed, and
I liked him a lot.
It just seemed like once we played that like Texan game and Tank Dell beat DJ Reed deep a few times.
Yep.
It was like other teams saw that and went, oh,
Yep.
okay, there's the kryptonite right there. He can't keep
Yep.
up with the speed guys. And then
Yep.
after that, it was Alec Pierce, Kayshawn Booty, like
Yep.
every speed guy that teams had, they put him on DJ Reed, and it's too bad because he was a real physical player. I liked his mentality. I liked the physicality. I liked the way DJ Reed played. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And usually when I say things like that, it's more of a standpoint of a team. Like a team can be really good, but then once a team figures out, kind of the blueprint of this is how we beat them, it changes. But in this instance, it's the player, not the scheme that we're talking about. But yeah, I think Pons is a better version, and I don't want to. I hate like saying something that everybody else says because I try to come up with my own takes and be original. I don't like to just parrot things that are said. But dude,
I'm with you like
the
that.
draft, when everybody said like Pons is kind of like an Aaron Glenn clone, he really is. That's such a good comparison because he's so fiery and he's got such good ball instincts, and so I got to go ahead and say it. Like he reminds me a lot of Aaron Glenn. And so, but yeah, I really, really like Pons as a player.
Me too. He's definitely going to start for sure, I think, on the outside. And I see, like you said, Brownlee Brownlee's going to be very good, I think. And do you think AZ on the other side? Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think about AZ? I don't want to jam you up because I know you got to go soon. But like AZ's speed, that doesn't catch up speed. That's the only thing that concerns me a little bit about him. Is that like makeup speed?
I think that's.
You think it's overblown?
I think that's been a little bit overstated, but I think there are some certain situations where that could come into play. But that's where having like a really deep DB room like that, like that's when I think, say they line up in a certain formation where you can tell like, okay, they're going to put the speed guy instead of in the slot, they're going to move him outside and try to get him on AZ. Yeah. Like that might be a situation where they say, okay, AZ, shift to the other side. We're going to put Pons out there and we can kind of move our guys around, or they could leave AZ there and say, okay, then we're going to, have our safety go over and give them some help over the top. And so I think there might be schematic things that we can do to help mitigate that. So, but yeah, I mean, those are all kind of questions that have yet to be answered.
So I think we kept seven, tell me if I'm wrong, seven cornerbacks, right? All seven, maybe even more than seven cornerbacks, and then five safeties, I think. I mean, that's a lot, dude. And then the offensive line, like if you look at the offensive line, it's like freaking there. Like it's a little scary. I mean,
well,
I don't know.
But again, like, and I don't know how much the show you heard or didn't hear.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you probably went through it already.
This, just because that's what the roster looks like after cuts, doesn't mean that's going to be the opening day roster. Yeah. So
no, I got it.
I think there's still going to be some moves that are going to be made. I wouldn't be surprised to see, another guard or another tackle brought in. I wouldn't be surprised that, So, yeah, I think that's going to change a little bit still before opening
Sure.
day. And dude, this next 48 hours or so is going to be interesting.
Oh, this is what we live for, like this is our like this is like I this is as fans, like I love the game. I watch the game. Like I mean I'm like insane when I watch the game. But this is like 90% of my Jets fandom is for my whole life has been like this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like in and reading and all types of the crazy stuff that we do, like non-game time stuff. Like the game is just like a little bit of, like a candle on the cake, like, and usually the candle don't even work. It's like the ones, the trick candles and shit that you get that you try to light and they don't even, that's the Jets. Everything else is the cake and the icing and all this other, stuff. And it's been an exploding cake. It hasn't been, it's been like a bad, like dollar store cake, most of my life, but
right. Well, that's true. And
but it's exciting. It's still exciting every year. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. I don't know if I'd be this like involved, and maybe a lot of us probably wouldn't even be this insane about the team if they were like great all our years. We'd just be taking it for granted. Right. But like because of this stuff, there's like an attraction to it. An attraction to chaos, I guess.
New York being like the biggest media market in the world brings you the number of fans, but then because we have been not good so often, this huge number of fans is more tuned in to off-season and off-season moves than other fan bases are. And so you've got this massive fan base number-wise that's tuned in more in the off season and more year round than other fan bases are, because we haven't been as good. And people always say, oh, the Jets always win the off season. And sometimes it certainly feels like that. But dude, it's this fan base is awesome. Like I think we've got the best fans in all sports.
100% we do.
And the fact that we are tuned in the off season, like, dude, there's a lot of fans that, like, I live in Tampa, so I got Buccaneer fans all around me. And even some of the guys that think they're hardcore Bucs fans, I could walk up to them right now and go, hey, dude, like, who's your backup center or backup guard? They don't fucking know. They got no clue. I can ask a Jet fan that in the chat. They all know. So as weird as it seems, like, I think the not being good, it has made us all more knowledgeable about the game. Like, we know the depth of the roster.
Oh yeah.
We're more familiar with the roster and roster moves and off-season moves than other fan bases are. And that's gonna, when we do turn the corner and this thing does start looking good, it's gonna be even the more fun, because
it's gonna be insane.
We can have.
I went through it with the Knicks, like, and anybody. I think I believe you're a Knicks fan, right? I mean, and the people in the chat that are Knicks fan, we went through it. I was down at the parade. It was absolutely. When I went to the Knicks parade, I was just saying to myself, like, I was literally half the time I was at the Knicks parade, I was just thinking about the Jets and just trying to, like, not really manifest it, but just putting myself in that, the place to be in the Jets. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, I know. I think about that all the time.
It's insane.
I gotta be honest. Like, I'm not as much of a basketball fan as I am a football fan. For me, it's
me too. I'm more of a jump. Me too.
NFL and college football, but I got a buddy of mine, Steve. He's in my fantasy league. He's a guitar player in a metal band that 6 feet under. He's always telling me, like, he's always talking to me about basketball. He's a hardcore basketball fan.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't really follow basketball. Well, one night, like, I came home and I was, like, just sitting at home getting baked and kind of flipping through the channels. And I came across a basketball game, and it's when Syracuse won their thing, and it was Carmelo Anthony. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker is good. And I went,
that was
okay,
good.
you know what? I was like, wherever this kid ends up going, I'm going to watch that team. And he ended up going to the Denver Nuggets. And so
Yeah.
I started off kind of being a Denver Nuggets fan, which was kind of weird because now I'm all of a sudden, I'm kind of like this bi-coastal sports fan where I got a team in New York and a team in Denver.
Yeah.
But then when Carmelo went to the Knicks, I'm like, okay, good. Now I can just root for all New York. That's much better. And so I kind of followed Carmelo to New York, and Carmelo went to New York, and then J.R. Smith went to New York with him. And like, you know, a few of the Nuggets guys ended up there, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can just be all New York and not have to do that weird thing, and which I much prefer. And so initially I didn't start out a Knicks fan, but I am now. And it's nice to see, you know, them finally get over the hump, and I can't wait for us to do it.
Very similar, because a lot of my friends are like, I'm sure a lot of people in chat, like, it's, you know, a lot of us are Knicks and Jets fans. So it was this was like a nice, but like yourself, I'm way more of a Jets fan. I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm way more of a Jets fan than anything else. You know, like I mean, I used to watch baseball. I don't really put the energy into much of anything anymore. Like 90% of it is Jets. You know what I'm saying? And of course the Knicks, but even with the Knicks, I don't watch like I don't watch it the way I once did when I was younger. And I also don't watch it. I don't pay attention to it nearly as much as the Jets. Like the Jets are, you know, the Jets are an an addiction. Like, you know, like I need therapy.
Really
you know, like it's weird. It's bizarre. You know?
And
my wife thinks I'm nuts. She's just like, I don't get it. Like, you know, like why do you?
Even prior to like kind of getting into the basketball, for a while I was like an NFL/NASCAR fan.
Yeah.
And the main reason was because like the NASCAR season is stupid long. It like starts in friggin' February and goes till November. It's like almost the whole damn year. But when football season ends, I would have NASCAR all year during the off season to watch. Like, so I didn't really have to go. I think there was like a week between the Super Bowl and the first race at Daytona where I didn't have sports to watch.
Right.
The only problem with that is by the time NASCAR would get to their playoffs at the end of the year, football had started, and I would find myself just like totally tuning out. Like I'm not missing. Okay, I'm not, dude. It could be the fucking Browns and the Cardinals play, and I'm probably gonna watch that before I'm gonna watch a race. To be honest with you,
it's the best. I mean,
like it really is. And so I kind of started to tune out to that. The NASCAR driver I liked, like, you know, he won a championship in like 2019, but he just passed away this year. And so like,
is that now, the guy that passed away suddenly?
Yeah, Kyle Busch. Yep.
Yes, they actually just had his brother on last week. I was watching, like, just coming around to like the whole thing. Like we don't even like it. Was so, the guy was young too, bro. Like I don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't old at all, and you know
they were hanging out with him like on that weekend, and he was fine. And then like he went to the hospital, whatever it was, like a Saturday night or whatever. Like he was fine, and then all of a sudden he was dead.
Got like a weird cold or something. Went to the hospital.
Man.
It kind of reminds me of Brittany Murphy, the actress that had a similar thing.
Oh yeah, remember Brittany Murphy? Sure, man.
It
crazy,
really similar weird situation, but I mean, dude, dude, I'd never seen anything like him. He would go and like win a truck race on a Friday night, and then win a Busch Series race on a Saturday night, and then racing a Cup race Sunday. And it's like, dude, how are you doing like 250 laps on Friday night and another 300 on Saturday, and then another 400 on Sunday? And when it's like 120 degrees inside those vehicles,
no joke,
and he won over 200 races across the top 3 series NASCARs. Like he was just a machine, dude. And when he was at his peak, he was unstoppable. And so, for at least a little while there, I'm like, okay, well, the Jets might have been bad, but at least my NASCAR driver is winning championships for me. but yeah, it the more like time went on, like I said, I would find myself as soon as football season would start, I would kind of start tuning out to that and just not really watching it. Like I would probably at the end of the night, I would look at it to see who won the race, but I'm not turning off the football game to watch it.
Yeah, football is superior, bro.
Yeah, so
for me anyway, And then this year, dude, we have all us Jets fans. I know you're and I follow you a lot for the college ball because you have I watch a lot of college ball, but my knowledge isn't nowhere near as well versed as yourself. College ball better than I do. What's his name? JC is really great. Jet Central is really, really great at the college ball. I'm pretty good. I mean, I'm not even gonna say pretty. I follow certain teams because I like the quarterback. For people like me, dude, this year is going to be awesome for us Jets fans with college ball. We got Saturdays this year as Jets fans. A lot of Saturdays.
Yeah,
packed.
Naturally, I watch Florida State because that's my team. But aside from Florida State,
I always love Florida State,
Ohio State, LSU. There's a few teams I usually pay attention to. This year, I'm going to add Texas to that list because
Texas.
Not only you got Manning, but you got Cam.
I watch Indiana just because
receiver. You got Colin Simmons, the pass rusher. There's a lot of really good players. Rashawn Biles, the linebacker. There's a lot of really good players.
A lot of linebackers. Yep.
I want to watch this year. And dude, really, you think about it, Texas, they got Cam Coleman this year, who, aside from Jeremiah Smith, is probably going to be the best receiver coming out next year.
Yeah.
Last year they had Matthew Golden, the fast kid that ended up going.
Yeah, I love Matthew Golden coming out. He hasn't really done too much yet at Green Bay. I thought he was going to be. He might pop this year though.
Yep. But then the year before that, you had A.D. Mitchell, who we have now. And you had also Xavier Worthy. But you look back over the last couple of years, they've had good receivers coming out of there every single year, it seems like.
Ohio State and LSU as well. Always with the good receivers.
And Ohio State, they're cranking them out. And
now Mississippi, Ole Miss too.
As good as Jeremiah Smith is, I was talking to somebody, I believe it was yesterday, that's an Ohio State fan, and they're like, "Yeah, you think Jeremiah Smith's good? We got Chris Henry Jr., the son of Chris Henry, that was the Bengals receiver, who is a fucking monster that may be even better than that coming out behind him." And I'm like, oh my goodness. They just keep turning out the great receivers.
You want to hear something funny? I got my cousin. Hopefully he plays, but I got a cousin that plays for Ole Miss. Syrian Padula. He's 6'4". He was he didn't start. He was just a freshman coming on last year. His brother Sean Padula played basketball for them, and actually he got drafted. He didn't get drafted. He went undrafted, but he's playing for the Clippers now. I think he's a point guard. But his brother is a wide receiver for Ole Miss, so I'm hoping that he gets to play this year. That'd be pretty dope.
Right on.
Just to be a cousin in there. I never met them. They're my first cousins, but they're in Oklahoma. They moved from New York to Oklahoma years ago.
That's awesome, dude.
They grew up out there. Yep. Younger cousins. But what I wanted to run by, So if he actually plays, I'll remind you because it'd be kind of cool to see your when his brother was playing. His brother Ole Miss almost made it to. I think they made it to the Sweet 16 last year in basketball. Not this past 64, the 64 before. He was really, really good. But as a matter of fact, I think he was just the MVP of the G League or whatever last year, out in the West Coast version of it. But I was going to say to you before you go, two quick things. One with quarterback, and before the quarterback, I seen a lot of Jets fans are kind of down on the what's his name, the guy that we I just went blank. The guy we picked up that had the 3 sacks.
Nate Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn. Dunbar. I'm surprised too, but at the same time, and they kept what's his name, and a lot of people were saying they better not keep the other guy that we got from Ohio State a few years ago that's still on a team.
Yeah, and the thing is,
I think that's a Dunbar decision, though, and we have to trust what Dunbar.
Right.
I feel like these position players, that the ones that are finally, I don't think Muji's up there going, we're going to keep, or even Glenn. I think that Glenn, when it comes to the defensive backs and that's what I was saying before. There's like so many of them, and that's so Aaron Glenn. He's basically got damn near quarter of the team is like defensive backs, which is still kind of insane to me. I know that we're going to chisel away and there's going to be guys gone and this, that, and the other thing. But the initial is just, there's a lot of them back there between safety, cornerbacks, blah, blah, blah. But I think the position coaches really have a say in everybody else. And I think that Dunbar, for whatever reason, thought McGregor was more valuable than Lynn. I guess we just got to go with Lynn, with what Dunbar thinks,
Right. And I was saying this earlier, maybe even though, it looked like Lynn was, definitely a good, much better pass rusher than McGregor. Maybe they think, okay, well, pass rushing situations, it's going to be McDonald and Bailey all the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we've got Osai and Enagbari, who can also give you a little bit in the pass rush department.
Yeah.
What we really need is guys on the outside who are going to be more stout against the run.
Right.
And Gregor is more that than say
that's
Lynn is.
So
so maybe that's why they leaned in that direction.
Good point.
That's the only thing that I can really think.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But
and then quarterback. I know the kid from Tennessee who I don't want was let go. What's his name? The big
Levis.
Yeah, the juice head. I mean, to me, like, it's the quarterback's got to be. There's the reason why I like Club. I don't love Club, but I'm in like with Club. I'm not in love with Club, right? But like, so with Club up here, he's really good. What's up, Zach? Up here, Club is really good, right? But Levitz is not at all. And you need to be good up here. And Levis is just never going to, to me, he's just never going to have that. So why even waste? Like, let's get a guy, give me half the physicality of Levitz, but more brain. I want brain, and I want size though. Give me a 6'3", 6'4" guy, but more brain. I don't need to have a guy that throws the ball 90 yards, but can't think for himself, like any other quarterbacks would let go. And that's the other part of that you guys know about. I didn't really scour too much.
Yeah, I haven't really dug into too much of what other teams have done. I've been kind of monitoring the Jets news, and obviously I saw Levis, Josh Johnson,
Josh Johnson.
Listen, I think that people are like, oh, bring Josh Johnson back. He's been a Jet before. And it's like, listen, Gino, I'm okay with Demario Davis. I'm okay with Josh Johnson. I don't know.
He's hurt. He's just never available.
Yeah. So I really haven't dug that deep into it. I am going to do a little bit more research tonight if I can. And tomorrow I'll probably really dig into it. But hell, hopefully by the time I get back from that interview tomorrow morning, Muji will have already done something, and I won't have to dig too much because I'll have the answer already.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll see. I don't want to repeat myself, but I think this is a very fluid situation and changes.
Yeah. Sure.
What's up, Zach? What's on your mind?
Yeah, no. As far as talking about the quarterback situation. In no fucking world would I ever claim Will Levis. I mean,
exactly.
Even if you paid me to do it, I wouldn't want the guy on my team.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense, bro.
He's a bigger version of JJ McCarthy. I don't want that.
Exactly, bro.
So
or Zach Wilson,
or Zach Wilson, yeah.
So it's like we don't need that.
Out there that you like better.
So one guy I did have my eye on that I'm actually disappointed about was Kyle McCord, and he ended up getting traded over to the Dolphins.
No way.
Yeah, way. Yeah. And and a few other guys I'm trying to, keep an eye on. Like the Cleveland situation I was monitoring closely, and I think that they're going to keep three guys. They just put Dylan Gabriel on IR for back
So
issues.
that.
So it's like I think they're going to roll with the three guys they have, and they like Taylor Green. I like Taylor Green too. He's very, he's got that real nice athletic profile. He's got to figure out the short to intermediate game, but he's got a nice deep game. So, it's like you see the flashes of like Josh Allen. You're like, oh, what could be? But he'll probably never materialize. We'll see. My comparison for him was Terrell Pryor. So, I think who's the other quarterback, man? Oh, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I've been.
You're cool. I'll throw you something while you're thinking about that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is what's LaFleur in Green Bay, Matt, right? Matt. He's like the quarterback guru, bro.
Right.
I mean, he's literally become the quarterback whisperer. Like, think about it. Every quarterback that goes to him ends up getting better.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about the Rams head coach. What's McVay?
Oh hell yeah, McVay is he's the master Mats. He's like the Yoda of like.
It's the Shanahan tree.
It's a Shanahan tree, right?
Right, because you got McDaniel, who literally turned Tua Tagovailoa into something.
Yep.
And oh, that's the other guy. I've heard Tua is on the trade block.
Yeah. Who is I thought I heard during the week that Tua was acting kind of like a bit odd, like like playing with his earring and just kind of like really disengaged and stuff like that. I don't know how like true that is or not, but I don't know if we want a guy like that, like
I don't know. I'll tell you from my personal stance, being that a couple of weeks ago I dealt with a very mild concussion myself. Like, I think I'm good with Tua.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. I had 2 concussions when I was a kid.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever had one, and
concussions are no joke, bro. Like, I got my brain scan. Got my brain scan like 2 years ago just to check, like to make sure, because I get headaches once in a while. And I got the EEG. If you guys never got the EEG and get it done at some point, it's pretty cool. They put all this, and the doctor looked at it, all these wires. And it's like an EKG, but it's for your head. And then, then they did the scan. And then I went back to the neurologist, and he's just like, he's looking at me. And I'm like, am I good? He goes, you got a great, your head's good. It's great. It was just a good feeling, man, because you hear so much about freaking concussions and all that,
Yeah, like, I mean,
they're no joke, though, bro. They're no joke.
I was telling people that a couple of weeks ago. Like, we hear about concussions all the time, guys in concussion protocol, and when you've never had one, those are just words. Like, you can kind of, like, you think you can kind of maybe imagine, but dude, like, no, until you go through it, like that, like nauseous feeling, the headache, the blurry vision, like, and it sucks to like wake up with a headache, go to sleep with a headache. Like, it was like a headache for a week. It fucking sucked.
Mine were bad. I literally left my consciousness. Like, I wasn't. I literally one time I got one playing in the snow down in the Bronx, by the Bronx Zoo. We were playing, tackle football in the snow. You know how you play when you're like a teenager without any equipment or anything.
Yep.
Tackle football in the snow, and I got kicked in the side of the head with like a boot. And I don't remember that. I just remember running, and I remember waking up the next day in my house. And then,
wow.
I don't remember anything, bro. I just remember waking up. I woke up, and then like my parents like, "You're good." And we took you to the doctor. They said you're gonna be fine. But like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And then my buddy Paul Cavalieri, famous graffiti artist, actually, dude Cav, he walked me home. We took the train after I got hit, he took me to the 2 train, took me all the way up, and then anyway, took me all the way, took a half hour. And then I called him up that day, and he's just like, you were acting weird. I don't know what was wrong with you. I don't remember any of it, bro.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Nothing.
Like, yeah,
that's concussion.
I
So when
don't
these dudes
really
get a
remember
concussion,
either.
it's no joke, bro.
Yeah, I remember I was carrying some stuff out to the car for my daughter, and I remember like walking out the door and starting to go down the steps, and then the next thing I know, I was like on the ground looking up, and everybody's looking down at me like, "Oh my god!" And they said I was out for like a couple of minutes, but I don't remember the fall. I don't remember hitting my head. I don't remember any of that.
Crazy.
And like I said, mine wasn't nearly as bad as what yours was. Thank goodness.
But it's still concussion, though, that you had, and it's the scary part.
Still, it was only a couple of steps, and I'm kind of lucky in a way, because not far from the base of the steps, there's like a little bar with 4 little wooden bar stools.
Oh, hell yeah.
My head actually hit one of the wooden bar stools. If that wouldn't have been there, I would have went all the way to the ground and cracked my head on the concrete, and it probably would have been a lot worse. So
yeah, thank God you're fine.
But
the head is delicate, man. It's an egg.
Yeah, concussion is no fucking joke.
No joke, bro.
Dude, thank you so much for calling in, man. Appreciate you. I really do kind of. Yeah, I need to kind of get.
Yeah, do your thing, bro. God bless. Thanks for all you do, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, man. Definitely appreciate it. Eddie, have a great night.
All the best, brother. Peace.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. I appreciate all of you. One last time, if you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button while you're here. Everybody, have a great remainder of what's left of your weekend. Have a great week. And until next time, go.
Thank you. Good night. We love you all.